Okay, so I gotta ask you guys. So yeah, so it has been 20 years.
Yes.
But it's great. It's such a kick to see you guys both back. So you actually this well coiffed in the movie?
You think I'm well coiffed?
Yeah,
Well,
you're
thank
great.
you. No. I look similar to what I looked like before. A little whiter maybe, but
And are you still working for the
Area
government?
51.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've had that kind of experience too with the alien being inside your head as well.
Exactly
with the president.
right. Exactly right. And which is, I can tell you, is no fun. I don't know if you've ever been through that, but I don't recommend it.
I had a weird dream like that once.
Did you?
Wow.
And Vivica, I have to ask. So now your son from the first movie,
Yes,
is,
Dylan.
He's kind of, I guess, the lead, the hero,
Yes.
one of the heroes of this one. So that's such an interesting thing. That must be what to your character, having been spending the last movie protecting her son. What's it like with that dynamic reversed where he's kind of protecting everybody else? That must be kind of a cool thing to play.
It really was. I mean, my character Jasmine grew up. Now she's a hospital administrator, and Dylan, like you said, is becoming a fighter pilot. And you know, she's just cheering him on the whole way to step into the shoes of Stephen Hiller, which was played by
Sure.
Will Smith. And I think that it's great growth and great maturity on her part to say, hey, you can do it. And I'm glad that she's his biggest cheerleader. And she has a couple of cool moments on her own too.
Well, I mean, she had a ton of cool moments in the first one. I
Yes,
guess
she did. The tunnel scene.
I guess that the dog's not still around.
No, Boomer's not with us. Boomer's not with her, but she's saving some other kind
The
of lives.
oldest dog that ever lived.
I know. If we can bring back the scientist, why not the dog?
Exactly.
So what's it like stepping onto the set of something like this 20 years later? I mean, do you find, because I mean, the original was a huge production
Yes.
Yeah.
20 years ago, but do you find, is this even, like, because this looks massive to me. I've never been on a set like
It's
this
bigger.
before.
It's bigger.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger.
It's going to be bigger, badder, and bolder, I
Yeah.
think, for sure.
But it's, you know, it's thrilling to be back.
Yeah.
20 years later, you know, revisiting characters you did 20 years ago, and hanging out with all these great people and who, you know, who I know.
And all still look good.
Everybody
like
looks
he
great.
still looks great. Jeff Goldblum still looks great. Like Judd Hirsch. Like
Well, Judd never really looked good, but
I'm going to tell him you
I'm
said
gonna
that.
tell him you said that. Okay. Yes. No.
no, don't tell him.
Yeah,
You know what
okay.
Judd Hirsch said to me? I ran into Judd Hirsch in a theater in New York about 12 years ago at a restaurant. After the theater, he walked in, he saw me, he says, "Brent, you got old." Thank you so much, Judd.
Right, exactly. You're like, so did you.
Obviously, I'll
but
never
no,
forget
really,
it.
everyone still looks good,
Yeah.
and the fact that we are still alive and here is a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
And we got all these cool young whippersnappers working
yes,
with
absolutely.
us. You know?
Yep.
If they waited 20 years, because I imagine that they must have wanted a sequel right away. If they've waited 20 years, I figure they must have had a pretty decent plot to come up with it to merit 20 years later, right?
Yeah, it's a really cool story, and really cool.
Well, I think Jurassic World proved that people are still super psyched. So
Can I
Yeah,
tell you something before you get up?
Yeah.
Sci-fi fans are so loyal, and they have been asking for Independence Day for at least the last 15 years. So we are so proud that we're able to finally deliver, and we're glad, like the success of Jurassic Park, which shows you that those classic films, the new audience will embrace it and support it as well.